Hello and welcome to the channel. My name is Sean Huggins. This is Europe with Hugs. I am an American looking to learn about life in Europe, and today we got this awesome video planned. Check this out. What Americans need to know about driving in Europe. This should be interesting. Before we start, if you enjoy, please consider subscribing. We're trying to get to that magical 1,000 subscriber mark, so please consider subscribing if you enjoy. And of course, leave a like and a comment and all that stuff helps the algorithm. And yeah, you guys know the deal. Anyways, let's hop straight into it. What do Americans need to know about driving in Europe? Let's find out.
If you finally decided to take that driving vacation in Europe, there's some things you really need to know to make your trip a little bit less stressful. While it's not that much different from driving in America, there are some key differences to know about.
Oh
but
boy.
If you can drive in America, you'll do just fine in Europe. Unless you're going to be going to the British Isles, you get to drive on the side of the road that you're used to driving on.
Drive on the right
side of the road in Europe.
Where else do they drive on the left? The British Isles, Cyprus, I think. Definitely Cyprus, but I'm not sure where else. But yeah, mostly on the right side of the road. Thank goodness. Driving on the left side of the road is weird.
Just like we do.
Hard to get used to.
Take time to learn what all of the signs are. It's really important to understand what the
nice
signs
view.
are. They are different from the signs we have, from the road
very
signs,
nice view.
the speed limit signs, and some of these signs have meaning beyond just the words on the sign. The way I prepared for my first European trip was to go to the Wikipedia entry on European road signs and just kind of study them a little bit. Look through the countries you're going to go to and just understand them. You're not going to remember all of it, but at least you'll be familiarized with the different signs and the different rules. On the A roads, which is their equivalent of essentially an interstate or a highway, the big signs do not tell you which direction you're traveling in. They basically tell you the big city at the end of the road that you're traveling towards. So you have to understand the cities that you're traveling towards so you know which direction.
Yeah, I do like that better though, because in America, if you get on like the main roads, it'll say you're traveling south or you're traveling north. And that's not always unuseful, but it's also not always that useful either, because if you don't really know or care if you're going north, south, east, or west, then it's not that useful. But with this system, the European system, if it says if you keep driving on this road, you'll end up in Berlin, then that's like, oh, that's easy. You don't even need to know where you are or what direction you're going. If you're going to Berlin, you just see a sign for Berlin and you just go that way. So that's pretty useful, I think.
You're going to go whenever you get onto a road. Take some time to get to know what the right-of-way rules are over there, especially for roundabouts.
Okay.
In general, their right-of-way rules aren't much different from ours. The person on the right has the right-of-way unless the sign says otherwise, but there are some differences. I'm not going to get into the details here. There's plenty of really good resources available to you online. Google is your friend here. There's even some places that have quizzes that you can take if you're the kind of person that likes quizzes. I know that these things can seem like a lot, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but trust me, it's not that complicated. It's no more complicated than it is here. You just need to take some time,
here being
familiarize
America,
yourself with the rules so that you don't find yourself in trouble over there. I put some links in the description for sites that you can access this information for the countries you plan on driving to. And while we're talking about rules, the left lane is for passing only. You cannot ride in the left lane.
Yeah, this is a big one. This is supposed to be the case in America, but it's basically not enforced, and it's just kind of a free-for-all. Whatever you feel like doing, you just do it. You just go in the left lane and you just hang out, have a cookout, have a barbecue, get the grill out, and just relax. It's not that the left lane is for passing. It's supposed to be. That's what the law says it's supposed to be, but nobody enforces it, unfortunately. So kind of annoying, actually very annoying if you ask me.
Unless you're actively passing a vehicle to the right of you. This is a rule, this is the expectation, and this is how they drive. And the speed limit is not always obvious. You need to understand there are certain instances where the speed limit isn't posted by a sign with a number on it. For example, when driving into or out of a town, there is a rectangular sign that tells you you are entering or leaving a city. When you drive past that sign, the speed limit is now 50 kilometers per hour, unless otherwise posted. That is just a rule that everybody understands.
How much is that in miles per hour?
You will not necessarily see a sign telling you that the speed limit changed to 50.
Look at these views, though.
Also, you have to understand what the default speeds for specific types of roads are. The default speed for many roads is 130 or 120 kilometers an hour or
Damn.
80 kilometers an hour, and it's not always posted. You just have to know what it is based on the type of road you're on. And then there will be further signs restricting speed on those roads or giving you guidance under certain weather conditions or traffic conditions. A key thing to understand is that it is only on the Autobahn, i.e. the A roads in Germany, where there is not a speed limit. No other countries in Europe have this allowance to drive
not
as
always,
fast as you choose
on the Autobahn.
So when you see this
just
sign,
some areas,
it doesn't mean there's no speed limit. What it means is that it ends all of the previously signed restrictions. You are now at the default speed limit for the road that you're on. And one final rule to be aware of is there's no such thing as a right turn on red in Europe. That's an American invention, and it's a great one, but it doesn't exist over there.
Right on red is awesome. I love right on red, but unfortunately, no right on red outside of America.
And hey, if you're enjoying this video and want to see more of our travel-related videos, please click the subscribe button below.
Click subscribe.
It really helps the channel. All right, so let's talk about speed cameras. I have never seen anybody get pulled over on the side of the road for speeding in Europe. However, I have gotten multiple speeding tickets in Europe. The way they find speeders in Europe is by speed cameras. These cameras are ubiquitous. Pretty much any town you drive through will have multiple ones down the main thoroughfare, and they will take your picture and you will get a ticket in the mail, often months later, and you won't even remember why. These cameras are on all types of roads, regardless of the size.
Look at these views.
One nice thing is that these tickets aren't particularly expensive. I think one of my tickets was 15 euros and the other one was 30 euros. I was able to pay at least one of them online. Another one I had to send a money order, so that was a little bit inconvenient. And if you are over there in a rental car, your rental company will charge you a $25 processing fee to send that ticket to you. As far as I can tell, a speeding ticket over there does not get reported to your American insurance company or go on your American driving record. But just be careful, and trust me, there's a good chance you're going to get a ticket, but it makes for a nice souvenir. Gasoline is expensive in Europe, but the roads are very nice. And unlike in America, diesel fuel costs about the same as regular unleaded gasoline. One thing to be aware of is you have to understand the words for the type of gasoline that you're going to be using in the car that you rent. If you have a diesel car, you need to know what the local word for diesel is. Otherwise, you may mess that up. Many of the gasoline pumps are self-service and are credit card use only. A lot of them require a chip and PIN card, which is a really difficult thing to find from an American bank. And what that is you insert the chip and you have a PIN attached to it.
I have never... I've had chip and PIN cards for a really long time with all of my American banks. I don't know why you're saying that's a hard thing to find.
A lot of American cards are what they call chip and signature, and often you have difficulty using the gas pumps there. So if you don't have a chip and PIN card, you're going to need to make sure that you can find gas stations that are attached to a convenience store with a cashier so that you can go inside to pay. And another expense that we need to discuss is toll. There's two different types of tolls you'll encounter in Europe. Some countries, like Austria and Switzerland, require you to buy a toll sticker, which allows you access to their highways. In Austria, you can buy a tourist sticker that's relatively inexpensive, and it's good for a couple of weeks. In Switzerland, however, they only sell annual stickers. So if you want to drive in Switzerland, you're going to need to buy the sticker for the entire year. For 2023, the price of that sticker is around $45. So if you're going to be there for a week...
$45, not bad for a whole year of driving, even if even if you can only use it for a week or two, you're on vacation, you're on holiday. $45 to be able to drive wherever you want. It's pretty good.
That's really not too bad. But if you're going to be there for the day, that might change your plan. We have had problems in the past where our credit card didn't work. On our most recent trip, however, we had good luck with cards that allowed for tap to pay. But we always make sure we do have cash on hand in the event that a credit card doesn't work and we have to find a way to pay with cash. In any case, I would recommend that the first couple of times you go through a toll, you find the toll booth that has a cashier. That way, in the event you have a credit card that won't work for you, you can at least pay cash. Many of the parking lots in Europe are pay lots, and they tend to have self-service parking kiosks that you have to walk up to and pay to get a ticket for a specific amount of time. Again, make sure you have cash to pay for this. If you don't have a credit card that'll work, normally these require a chip and PIN card, so if you don't have one, make sure you have enough cash to pay for your parking. Another thing to be aware of is that they tend to drive fast on small, windy roads.
True.
I like driving fast. I like windy roads. I'm not comfortable driving as fast as they do on these small, windy roads. But no worries, you don't need to push
Okay,
yourself
Lewis
faster
Hamilton.
or pull over or anything like that. They'll find a time to pass you, and they'll pass you. Drive the speed you're comfortable to drive, and everything will work out just fine for you. Watch out for cows.
Yo,
really,
what?
watch out for cows. There's
What?
a lot of cows, and sometimes they end up in the middle of the road.
What?
Make sure you understand the rules
What?
regarding
That's
international
awesome.
driving permits. Most countries in Europe allow an American to drive in their country. However, some do require you to have an international driver's permit. You can get these relatively inexpensively. We normally get one at AAA. Many people don't bother to get one. I think the only time anybody's going to ask to see one is if you're in an accident or if you get stopped for some sort of moving violation or something. But it's still best to just get one. They're not expensive, and that way it won't be a problem in the event that you need to have it. And one final thing that you need to know about driving in Europe is that it is the best way to get off the beaten path, away from the normal tourist areas, and go see really interesting and unique sights and attractions. If you want to learn more about driving in Europe, check out this other video about reasons why you should rent a car on your European vacation. Hopefully, I've been able to alleviate some of the stress or anxiety that you have about going on a driving vacation in Europe. In the end, as long as you pay attention and you're careful, you'll be just fine and you'll have a lot of fun.
Wow. Thanks, Aaron. That was awesome. Yeah, I think the best example or the best point that he made was that the passing on the left, because like I said, that is not, as unfortunately, not a thing in America. At least it's supposed to be, but it's just not enforced. So that is definitely a big one for sure. But I'm curious what you guys have to say about it. Are there any other things that Americans should know before coming to Europe and driving around? Let me know what you think. Leave a comment down in the comment section below. Also, like I said, if you enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. We're trying to hit that magical 1,000 subscriber mark. So if you enjoyed, consider subscribing. It helps out a lot. But that's all the time that I have for today. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.